Executives of the Sony Corporation today announced that the Japanese firm will be building a multi-million-dollar facility in Terre Haute to manufacture laser video discs. The main reason Sony chose Indiana for the site of the new plant is because of a pledge by the state to permanently abolish the unitary corporate tax. That tax is one which permits a state to levy taxes on a multinational corporation's worldwide profits.
This attitude showed us how much this state or government or legislature and the people are willing to welcome Japanese investment.
The resolution was signed by both Democratic and Republican legislators and is expected to be dealt with during the 1985 General Assembly. The new plant should be finished by the fall of next year and will initially employ 100 people but could grow to about 250. The building of the plant, however, is contingent on Sony obtaining tax-exempt financing and Urban Development Action Grant funds. Ann Craig, 59 Headline News.
The former Center Township assessor and his assistant face prison sentences on fraud charges tonight. Judge S.U. Dillon sentenced Henry Bate to a total of 8 years in prison and a $1,000 fine on mail and tax fraud charges. That sentence could be reduced. Bate and Deputy Assessor Frank Corsero were accused of accepting kickbacks for helping business owners get property tax breaks. Corsero was sentenced to 2 years on charges of using the mail to defraud. He will serve 60 days of that sentence and must pay a $1,000 fine. In another matter, the owner of a local construction company, Frederick Harding, received a 2-year suspended sentence for overcharging the town of Carmel for asphalt paving. He must also repay $80,000 plus interest to the town. An Indianapolis toddler died today, the result of a freak accident. 2.5-year-old Charles Pina apparently woke up early this morning at his home on North Dearborn and tried to climb out a window onto the front porch. Police say the screen fell on him, hitting him in the neck. His sister found him hanging through the window when she returned home. He was pronounced dead at Community Hospital. Police say it appeared the boy was reaching for a cookie when the accident occurred. A Michigan man was found dead in his downtown Indianapolis motel room today. Police at first thought 38-year-old Robert Wirtz of Dearborn, Michigan, died from a fire that started in the room. But after examining evidence found at the scene, police now think Wirtz died of natural causes. Detectives believe Wirtz was smoking in bed at the time of his death, and the bed caught on fire. Tonight, Washington Township fire investigators say a fire at the Lake Nora Arms Apartments was deliberately set, and they think they know who was responsible. Fire officials say they believe 2 people are responsible for Monday's blaze. They are not saying how that fire was set. The early morning blaze destroyed 2 apartment units and caused $100,000 in damages. The 3 men arrested for killing an Indianapolis man face additional charges tonight. 23-year-olds Herbert Underwood, Richard Asbury, and Richard Huffman are also accused of confinement and criminal deviant conduct. Sheriff's deputies indicate the victim, 29-year-old Carrie Golden, was sexually assaulted in addition to being beaten to death. The 3 suspects were earlier charged with murder and robbery. Golden's body was found on the west side Tuesday morning. There does not seem to be an epidemic of brucellosis in Indiana dairy cattle. That's what a federal agricultural official is saying tonight, but state officials supervising the testing will not confirm those results. The federal official says the tests of more than 6,000 Indiana dairies turned up just 2 cases of brucellosis-infected cattle. The test started in April after it was revealed that a police task force was investigating Indiana's brucellosis eradication program and other aspects of the dairy industry. Tonight, officials in Bloomington are trying to settle a multi-million-dollar PCB damage suit against the Westinghouse Corporation. Officials and attorneys for Bloomington, the state, and the U.S. Justice Department are on hand for the meeting. The city, state, and federal governments have charged Westinghouse with being responsible for the pollution and cleanup of PCB-contaminated soil and equipment at several Bloomington landfills. Westinghouse agreed in principle to build a multi-million-dollar PCB-destroying incinerator. The city's so-called blight law is unfair. That's the opinion of the Indianapolis Taxpayers Association. The group says current domain rules used for downtown redevelopment gives property owners in such areas as the 300 block of West Washington a raw deal. This area was declared blighted to make room for a new hotel. Opponents of the measure say changes are needed.
There can be processes put in there to mandate notification by certified letter. Also, there can be processes set up to mandate that they be told their rights before the process begins, so that they'll know how to appeal and where to appeal and so forth.
The ITA is holding a fact-finding discussion at this hour to give lawmakers a better understanding of the effects of the blight law. 2 Indianapolis doctors have filed suit against 3 anti-abortion protesters, claiming they hurt their business. Doctors Robert Morgan and James Brillhart are seeking $250,000 each in their suit against Danny Lovely, Leon Burke, and Wayne Kefauver. The doctors say the 3 members of Citizens for Life have carried signs featuring Nazi swastikas or signs saying KKK headquarters, black babies killed. The suit says those signs falsely imply Morgan is a Nazi or member of the Ku Klux Klan. Brillhart says he has never performed abortions, but that the men passed out literature calling him an abortionist. Nursing home administrators learned today what they must do to comply with Indiana's new nursing home regulations. Today's session held by the State Board of Health was the second of 9 such seminars to be held around the state. Governor Robert Orr signed the new regulations into law on May the 2nd, and now nursing homes must comply. Today's workshop dealt with the changes.
I think probably the majority of the facilities have already started some kind of implementation. The ones that may have problems are obviously the ones that probably the rules that were directed to, the marginal type facilities. But I'd say the majority of the facilities probably are ready and have already implemented prior to the June 2nd effective date these changes.
The seminars are focusing on some of the major changes in the law concerning such things as tuberculosis, nursing, and pharmacy. Americans might be making less use of hospitals and spending more time in facilities called health maintenance organizations. A recent study says the rapid growth of HMOs will likely mean less use of hospitals in the future. And it also confirms that patients spend much less time in HMOs than they do in hospitals.
Hi, I'm Mr. Taylor. My secretary made a reservation.
Yes, she requested a Camaro.
A Camaro? I'm afraid that's a bit much.
It's only $29.95 a day. And fun to drive.
Well,
Why just rent a car when for only $29.95 a day, National will rent you some wheels? Just request a Camaro or similar car with unlimited mileage.
There it is.
hey, thanks.
You deserve National attention.
All right.
Adult, alone and unattached, Matchmaker dating service. Successful, confidential, and it works. Matchmaker, a national chain of dating services with locally operated offices. Matchmaker in major cities and right nearby. Matchmaker, experts at introductions because we're a national chain. We became national because we care about the people you meet. In Indianapolis, call 253-0430 or directory assistance for Matchmaker dating service.
This year, get the jump on hot weather. Buy your pool now from Pool City. Enjoy the summer with family and friends in your own backyard. See the largest display of pools in Indiana at Pool City. Pool City sells and installs more pools than any other dealer in Indiana. Their service and expert installation has made them #1. Before you buy your pool, spa, patio furniture, or pool supplies, check with our Superstore South, Greenwood, Pool City North, Castleton Plaza, Muncie, or our new store in Lafayette.
There are more developments tonight in the battle over where the Indianapolis Colts should play football. Federal Judge Walter Black of Baltimore has lifted a stay that had prevented Baltimore officials from pursuing their lawsuit aimed at returning the team to that city. However, he also banned Baltimore from seeking any emergency court injunctions that would stop the team from preparing for operations in our city. Those operations include such activities as team practice sessions and ticket sales. Meanwhile, at 4 o'clock tomorrow, more than 200,000 people who want a seat for Colts games will know whether they're in or out. That's when the Colt officials will pick the numbers of lucky people who want season tickets to the NFL games. Only 55,000 seats are available for each game. The lottery drawing will not be open to the public because of a lack of space. President Reagan talked about the possibility of a world oil crisis on the first day of the economic summit in London today. The president met with Japanese Prime Minister Nakasone and agreed to make contingency plans in case of an oil crisis. Treasury Secretary Donald Regan says the two leaders had no overwhelming sense of urgency and did not discuss any military involvement in the Persian Gulf. Japan gets about 2/3 of its oil from the Gulf. A senior American official says the U.S. has been officially informed that Soviet dissident Andrei Sakharov is alive. The official told reporters traveling in London with the president that Sakharov's wife has been seen in the city of Gorky and their lives appear to be returning to normal. Sakharov reportedly has been on a hunger strike for more than a month in an attempt to force the Soviet government to let his wife get treatment abroad.
The difference in the two Democratic frontrunners' positions was never more evident than today. Walter Mondale, who has claimed the nomination, is spending a relaxing weekend at the home of a friend on Long Island, New York. But while he's savoring the thrill of victory, Gary Hart is at work in Washington, seeking advice, more delegates, and refusing to quit the race. For Hart, the day was filled with meetings on Capitol Hill. Hart and Colorado Representative Pat Schroeder. Hart and Senate Minority Leader Robert Byrd. Hart and Representative Morris Udall. Udall, who found himself in a similar situation against Jimmy Carter in 1976, said he believes Hart will do what is best for the party.
That nomination isn't going to be worth very much if there's a lot of blood on the floor, and I don't want that, and Gary Hart doesn't want it. One thing is very clear. Gary Hart is not a spoiler.
Hart also met with Speaker Tip O'Neill. O'Neill has urged him to step aside. After his day on the Hill, Hart was as determined as ever.
Do you feel like you could still win the nomination?
Oh, of course. Of course.
While the troubled candidate sought support, his staff was seeking more delegates. In Washington, Michael Kastner reporting.
The Reagan administration should show more concern for the underprivileged. That's according to Ralph Davidson, the chairman of the board of Time Incorporated, said at a news conference that although Reaganomics have reduced unemployment and inflation, federal budget cuts have devastated programs that are needed.
There are some programs like Head Start and some others that have been cut that I think could have been left in place, and you could have found some savings in other part of our government in order to fuel that one resource that makes this country work, and that's people, and educated people.
Davidson was the featured speaker tonight at the Indianapolis Urban League's annual dinner. He's a member of the National Urban League's Board of Directors.
One of the new owners of Eastern Airlines.
Now that I'm an owner of Eastern Airlines, I can get you into first class for only $20 more than the full coach fare. All you do is fly to Kansas City on my airline, Eastern, stop there or go on to another city. You're going to love Kansas City Airport for connections right to your gate. Want to fly first class? Call Eastern. Tell them Rachel sent you.
Fly west first class through Kansas City, only $20 more than coach. At Eastern, we earn our wings every day.
Over 100 brand new GMC trucks were loaned as courtesy vehicles to the teams and officials of the Indy 500. Some have been returned to your Midwest GMC truck dealer. Now here's the value to you. These brand new GMC trucks were used for just a short time and have only a few hundred miles on them, but they can't be sold as new trucks. So you should see the prices we can offer. These GMC courtesy trucks may be the best truck buy all year. See us at Midwest GMC Truck Sales tomorrow before they're all gone.
Having enough storage space is always a problem. What you need is a barn. We've been building barns since 1975, and we can build your barn in your yard using only first quality lumber with the same standards used in your home. You don't have to be there, prepare the site, or clean up after us. We build a better barn and back it up with a 5-year warranty. Let us build a barn for you. We're the Barnyard at 9404 Rockville Road and 4343 North Shadeland.
Our warm, clear skies make it the perfect time for outdoor activities, such as the Little Flower Catholic Church's annual Parish Festival. It's going on at the church from tonight until Saturday. And they're enjoying a temperature right now of 78 degrees and a barometer falling from 29.95 inches of mercury. We've had no precipitation today. Humidity is at 48%. Winds are from the south at 14 miles per hour. Our high today climbed up to 84 degrees. The low this morning was 71. For the record, it's gotten as high as 98 degrees on this date. That happened in 1933. The low for this date has been down to 41 degrees. That occurred in 1894. Taking a look at our state map, over the past few days, our weather has been about the same, hot and humid. A stationary high-pressure system in the southeast, known as a Bermuda high, is responsible for the above-normal temperatures. The high probably will not be moving anytime soon. The extended outlook for the state calls for above-normal temperatures for at least another week. Across the nation today, it may have felt a lot like summer here in Indiana, but in Colorado, it was more like winter. 1.5 feet of new snow fell on the higher elevations. In the east, dozens of people were evacuated when 4 more inches of rain fell in Vermont. And rain and heavy thunderstorms have poured up to 8 inches of rain on parts of Louisiana since yesterday. Thunderstorms also developed today over the Dakotas, the Plains, and the Mississippi Valley. Sunny to partly sunny skies covered the rest of the nation. Today's low this morning was reported at West Yellowstone, Montana. Tomorrow, more thunderstorms are in store for the Mississippi Valley, the Great Lakes, and the northeastern states. Scattered rain showers will fall from the Pacific Northwest to the Rockies. Strong gusty winds and partly cloudy skies are expected for the Rockies and the Plains. The sun will shine over the nation's southwest tomorrow. Our forecast for tonight is calling for partly cloudy skies and humid conditions. There is a chance of some sprinkles during the evening. The low will be around 70 degrees, winds from the southwest at 15 miles per hour. For tomorrow, look for partly sunny skies, windy and warm conditions. There is a chance of some afternoon thunderstorms. The high will be at 90. The winds from the southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow night is calling for warm and humid conditions. The low will be around 72. The extended forecast is calling for a chance of thunderstorms on both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's high should be around 90. Sunday, the high will climb into the 80s. Monday, it'll be mostly sunny and again highs in the 80s. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:17. It'll set at 8:11.
Indiana's 13 largest cities had lower unemployment figures in April. The state's Employment Security Division says the biggest change occurred in Muncie, where the seasonally adjusted rate fell almost 2% from March. The highest jobless rate in April was in the Gary Hammond East Chicago area, which reported 14.6% of the population out of work. The lowest rate was in Elkhart. It was 5%. The Indianapolis area rate was 8%. That's down 0.5 percentage point from March. Well, these people are celebrating because they have found summer jobs for 2,600 underprivileged teenagers. Business, government, education, labor, and youth have been working together, hoping to find jobs for 2,000 16 to 21-year-olds. But they have surpassed that goal. The Partners 2000 project has found 2,656 job openings for the 2,600 teens that applied. Almost 500 volunteers worked in the job search effort.
As you know, youth unemployment is a very, very difficult thing and a very tough job to really combat. And it's so important to have good people involved in this, and it's just been a wonderful process.
18-year-old Kim Craig says if not for the Partners 2000 program, she probably would not be working this summer. Instead, she's at State Life Insurance doing clerical work and learning how to use computers.
Those who shop Bud Wolf Chevrolet buy at Bud Wolf Chevrolet, because Bud Wolf knows the true value of used cars, and that's what you get. A true appraisal of your trade-in, its true value. This means you never pay too much for a new car, used car, or truck at Bud Wolf Chevrolet. So, let me ask you this. Why not shop Bud Wolf Chevrolet Avante? Why not? Easy to find, biggest dealer in Broad Ripple. Why not?
These people operate restaurants, churches, stores, offices, all kinds of businesses. They're finding items they need at prices below their normal suppliers. They're business members of the Wholesale Club, and these folks are group members of the Wholesale Club. They're all finding new, top-quality, brand-name products at prices that beat retail, beat sale, beat discount, and even beat wholesale. You could join in the savings. Call 897-CLUB for more information. The Wholesale Club at 8301 East Washington Street. You'll love it.
Hello everyone, the Reds having good reason to be tired after playing 14 innings last night and losing to LA. Then they came out in full swing today in San Diego. Right there, Dave Parker with the home run. It makes it 2-0. Now, 2 out, Nick Osaski, he goes to the opposite field. It goes down the line over Kevin McReynolds' head. Now it is 4-0 Cincinnati on top. You see Show there, he's not at all happy. Now, Tom Foley, it's a 2-run shot. Now this makes it 6-0 Cincinnati. They go on to win it 12-1 over San Diego. Elsewhere around the league, Cubs, Expos, and Montreal. For the Cubbies, it's a chance to avenge yesterday's pounding. For Indianapolis, Mike Stenhouse right there with a double. It goes down the right field line. You see the score right there. It's 2-1 Montreal winning it tonight. But in the Cubs' sixth, Montreal 1-0 with one man aboard on the second. And it's Mel Hall at the plate, a shot through the middle. It scores. Leon Durham, right there you see him crossing third. That ties the game at 1 apiece. Now, bottom of the sixth, Gary Carter. It's a towering home run to left center coming up right here. The solo shot, it puts Montreal in front 2-1 in the sixth. That's enough as the Expos win it 2-1 over Chicago. And now around the league, a couple of late starters, Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Houston, San Francisco. Now around the American League tonight, taking a look at the scoreboard, it's Minnesota, a winner over Texas. In Detroit, Rupert Jones called up from the minors just 3 days ago, a 3-run homer as Detroit beats Toronto. Now after 8, it's Milwaukee over Boston 6-1. After 4, California beating Chicago. For the White Sox, Harold Baines, a 3-run homer. And Seattle is beating Kansas City after 3. Well, it only took Chris Everett Lloyd 39 minutes to mop up previously unseeded Chris Benjamin. The win vaults Chrissy into the finals of the women's singles. Now the American, Benjamin, seemed overpowered on being on center court of one of the most prestigious tennis tournaments in the world. The victory puts Everett Lloyd into the finals for the 7th time in 11 years. She has now won 51 matches at the French Open, and that is an all-time record. And Everett Lloyd will be facing Hanna Monlikova or Martina Navratilova in the finals. Now to horse racing. The Kentucky Derby winner coming up right here, Swale, is a pre-race favorite for the 116th running of the Belmont Stakes. The windows have Swale listed at 5-2, while Gate Dancer is close at 3-1 odds. From wire to wire, the Belmont is 1.5 miles. That extra distance isn't bothering most of the camps.
I think he'll handle the distance all right. He looked to me like the day he won the Kentucky Derby that 1.5 miles or 1.75 miles or whatever distance wouldn't bother him. And he's a type horse. He's a versatile horse you can do anything with. He'll relax for you, or he'll go. He's got speed you can use. So I don't see any reason that he can't get the distance.
1.5 miles is a question with a lot of these horses. It's no question with my horse. The only question is the pace. If they let Swale go out there in 49 and change and gallop along on the lead, they're not going to catch him. No way, they can't.
I think this horse gives you every indication that he'll run long. He'll go to the front and stay there, or he'll come from behind. He's very versatile. And every indication I got that he'll run the 1.5 miles. Now, if he don't, why, then another time I've been wrong.
Right now, Olympic boxing trials being held in Fort Worth, Texas, And 21-year-old Ron Essett stands a great chance of making the U.S. Olympic team. His trainer said today that Essett is in his best shape ever, and Essett is confident about his chances. Now, Essett and Bernard Price, they have both won tonight, so those two advance to the semifinals. Now, elsewhere in the NBA today, a big trade. Kiki Vandeweghe goes to Portland, and Portland will get 2 draft choices also in a deal with Denver. Now, elsewhere, the president of Los Angeles Olympic Committee, Peter Ueberroth, he is traveling to Cuba to try and convince Fidel Castro to be in this year's Olympics. And that is a look at sports.
Cross Country AMC Jeep Renault. The Budget Beaters gives you 3 ways to save. Number 1, 10.9% APR financing on all new Renault Encores, Alliances, Fuegos, and Sport Wagons. Number 2, huge savings on every car in our inventory. And number 3, reduced prices on all Jeep Cherokees, the triple award-winning 4x4 of the year, and all Jeep CJs. The Budget Beaters, Cross Country AMC Jeep Renault, a cut above, 16th and North Shadeland. 3 ways to save. Come in and save now.
If adventure has a name, it must be Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, rated PG. Join the search.
Warp speed.
On this, the final voyage of the Starship Enterprise, Star Trek III, The Search for Spock.
Now showing, check your newspaper for complete individual show times.
You shouldn't have to sacrifice quality to get great low prices for your family. That's why Hook's Dependable Drugstores have developed their own family of private label products, Hook's brand. This month, Hook's bandages are specially priced. Each bandage lets air in, keeps moisture out for quick healing, and it won't stick to the wound. Hook's brand, your very best buy for quality and savings. Hook's the one for your best buy.
Hook's the one.
Well, tonight, news reports indicate that superstar Michael Jackson and his brothers may not be bringing their tour to Indianapolis after all. ABC News says it knows the cities where performances will be held. The list does not include Indianapolis. The tour was supposed to start June 22nd in Lexington, Kentucky, but that date is now in question. As for the rest of the tour, ABC says the list of cities includes Boston, New York, Washington, Miami, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Chicago, and either Dallas or Houston. ABC says that list is subject to possible last-minute changes. Last year, when then Interior Secretary James Watt was in, the Beach Boys were out. Now it's the other way around. The Beach Boys are planning to headline this year's July 4th celebration near the Washington Monument. Last year, they were excluded by Watt from the festival after he charged that rock bands attracted the wrong element. Watt later reversed himself, but by that time, the group was committed to another performance. Since that time, Watt has resigned as Interior Secretary. He's been succeeded by William Clark. A lot of people who were at Monument Circle at lunchtime today have broken their diets. The Indianapolis Opera Company was there dishing up oversized chocolate sundaes. The event was the first ever for Ice Cream for Opera. That's to raise money for the company. Borden donated the ice cream, which obviously was enjoyed by all. And recapping tonight's weather, our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy, a chance for some sprinkles. It will be humid, and our low dropping down to about 70. For tomorrow, then, it'll be partly sunny, windy and warm, a chance of thunder showers remaining. A high tomorrow around 90 degrees. So hopefully it'll clear up and those storms won't hit us after all. That's the news for tonight. Thanks for joining us. For Jay Chapman, I'm Ken Owen. Have yourself a good night.